Hello, Algebra 2 concept students. Okay, so we are going over our quiz for this weekend today, Monday or Friday. Remember, for the classes that are getting it on Friday, it's due on Sunday, and classes that will get on Monday, I'll let you know when it's due. Okay, so just because a lot of us have the test read in our IEPs, I'm going to go over all this. Okay, so we're going to look at these. The first five, okay, are dealing with our properties of addition and multiplication. So look at that chart on that, I think it was lesson 1.2, of all the different multiplication and addition properties, and try and match them up with our examples here. Okay, so I'm going to go through this here. Question 1. Now I'm only going to go through this once, but if you need it read twice, it's simple. You just rewind the video and listen to it a second time. I mean, quite honestly, you can have this read to you 100 times if you want. So keep that in mind. You can have this read as many times as you want, but I'm going to read it once through for those of us who only want it once. But you can do it multiple times. Remember that. Okay, it starts off with number 1. Which equation illustrates the multiplicative inverse property? A times 1 equals A. B, A times 0 equals 0. C, A times 1 over A equals 1. Or D, negative A times negative A equals A squared. Look at our examples from that and make your decision. Remember, this is practically an open book test. Question 2. Which statement illustrates the additive identity property? A, 6 plus 0 equals 6. B, negative 6 plus 6 equals 0. C, 4 parentheses 6 plus 3 equals 4 parentheses 6 plus 4 parentheses 3. And D, parentheses 4 plus 6 plus 3 is equal to 4 plus parentheses 6 plus 3. So the additive identity property. Remember, look at that chart. 3. Which equation is an illustration of the additive identity property? A, x times 1 equals x. X plus 0 equals x. X minus x equals 0. Or x times 1 over x is equal to 1. Additive identity property. 4. Which sentence illustrates the associative property for multiplication? A times B, or A multiplied B equals B multiplied A. A, parentheses B times C equals parentheses A times B, parentheses C. A times 1 equals A. Or A, parentheses B plus C equals A parentheses B plus A parentheses C. Associative property for multiplication. Fifth one with these properties. 5. Which property does this expression show? Negative 2 times 0 is equal to 0. Is this A, the 0 property of multiplication? B, the distributive property? C, the identity property of addition? Or D, the identity property of multiplication? Use that chart, people. Okay, so these next 1, 2, 3 Let me double check here. The next three problems are using the classifications of real numbers. Remember, we talked about real numbers, we talked about irrational numbers, then we talked about natural numbers and whole numbers and integers and rational numbers. That's what we're doing here. Okay, number 6. Which of the following is an integer? A, 2.2. B, -2. C, square root of 2. Or D, 1/2, or 1/2. Integer. 7. The number 75 is A, a whole number, B, a rational number, C, an integer, or D, all of the above. Remember, you can listen to this, rewind this. If I go too fast, you can listen to it 5, 10 times in a row, whatever suits your fancy, whatever works best for you. 8. Which of the following correctly describes 0.95? Is 0.95 1, an integer? Or A, an integer? B, a rational number? C, an irrational number? Or D, a whole number? Okay. The following 4 questions, and I'll finish out this exam, are all based on taking a word phrase, like we did in the Do Now from, Wednesday and Thursday. We convert a word phrase to its proper mathematical phrase. So, listen very carefully for these. Which expression represents the phrase below? 3 fewer than a number P. 3 fewer than a number P. Is it A, 3 minus P? Is it B, P divided by 3? Is it C, 3 divided by P? Is it D, P minus 3? Okay. Number 10. An expression is given, 7b minus 3. Which phrase describes the expression? 7b minus 3. Here we go. Listen carefully. A, the difference of 7 plus a number b and 3. B, 7 times the difference of a number b and 3. C, 3 subtracted from the product of 7 and a number b. Or D, the product of 3 subtracted from 7 and a number b. So as I'm saying those, look over that statement and see what fits best. Number 11. Which expression represents 5 less than twice x? 5 less than twice x. Is it A, 2x minus 5? Is it B, 5 minus 2x? Is it C, parentheses 5 minus x? Is it D, 2 parentheses x minus 5? Remember, subtraction can only go in one direction. The order it's said is not necessarily the order it goes in. Finally, last question, 12. Which verbal expression can be represented by 2 parentheses x minus 5? So carefully look at these 4 choices we have. A, 5 less than 2 times x. B, 2 multiplied by x less than 5. C, twice the difference of x and 5. Or D, the product of 2 and x decreased by 5. And guys, those are all 12 questions. And as I said, you can stop, pause, go back, listen to this again. You can listen to this as many times. One of the strategies I was thinking about doing before I made this video was possibly do the test with me here, copying down the right answers, and then going to the Google Classroom and doing it there. So you have more time and you can go over the problems slowly, one at a time. Just a thought. If it works for you, it works for you. The other thing I want to say is good luck, everyone. I'm sure everyone's going to do fine. This is our first test. This is going to be really the only test of this marking period. So make it a good one and get off to a good start, and you will get it'll be much easier down the road if we get off to a good start. If you get a rough start, it's going to only get harder. So do good on this one because they don't get easier from there. We know this in math, right? They always get a little bit harder. So good luck, and I will talk to you later. Bye.